Hi everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage and Watercolor Wednesday. I'm Leslie Watkins. Today I thought I would, actually I'm kind of excited about the lesson today. I'm going to be sharing how to begin painting with ink. And the ink that I'm talking about is the water-based stamp pad refills, and these inks are terrific for using in a watercolor technique. And I've had a lot of people asking me about getting started painting with ink, and so today I thought would be the perfect time. Now there is still time to sign up for the Watercolor Card Club, where I go into much more depth of painting both with inks and watercolors. And the lesson this month is brush strokes. So it's a very important lesson for beginners. And if you're interested in signing up or learning more about it, just go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com and you'll find the page there for the Watercolor Card Club. And there's much more information on there. And if you subscribe before March 15th, you will be able to have full access to the brush strokes, which is such a very important lesson. But today I'm going to demonstrate a little bit of that on a really cute project, and I'm going to keep it very simple. So I've got a piece of paper, and I've got the Decorative Borders stamp set. And I love this stamp set because I love working with borders and shapes and designs to decorate 3D objects, journals, and boxes. So this is going to be a really fun set to use today and also to paint with. And so I've already got a number of stamps mounted up. And if you're interested in the supplies that I'm using today, they're listed on my Facebook page. You can just click on the link and it will bring you right to the supply list. And I'll also have all of that posted below in just a little while after I do the live video today. So to get started, I'm going to grab my ink pad. I'm going to open it up, and actually I'm going to leave it open like this. I'm going to take the corresponding color. So this is basic gray. I wanted to use a neutral today so that you could just see your values more clearly. I'm just adding a few drops of paint to the lid of the stamp pad, and then I'm just going to put this off to the side so I can use that as a palette. I also have a water container, and I have some paper towels. And I'm going to begin by stamping an image. And I think you can see that I've pre-scored the paper. So I've got some edges here that I want to add a border design. So let me just close this up again. I'm going to take my leafy border, and if you've never stamped before, this is a really easy project and a great way to get started because we're just doing some very simple stamping. Now I have to put my head over the area where I'm stamping, so if I get my head in the way, I'm sorry. I'm just going to do this on all four sides. There we go. And then what I'd like to do is, I have a sort of a decorative border that has a diamond design in it, so I'm going to go ahead and use that also. I'm going to do just the same thing, which is to go around on all four sides. I just want to get this centered on there. There we go. So I think you can see the pattern beginning to emerge. Now I've got this really pretty kind of a swoopy swag floral design. And I'm going to try to fit that in there. And if it goes over the edges a little bit, that's okay. So I just want to get that kind of centered on the diagonal, like so. Not a perfect stamp, but that's okay because we're going to be going over this with the brush. So if it's not perfect, don't worry, not a problem. There we go. And you see this forms a little space in the center that I thought would be nice for a monogram, but I'm not going to do that today because I may decide to put a sentiment there instead. So that's all the stamping. I'm going to put these things aside now. And while I'm at it, let me just check my settings, make sure that we are recording. And yes, that looks good. And good morning, Ginger. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Linda. All right, everybody. So this is going to be a fun little session here today. Now I'm going to open up my palette just like so, and I'm just putting this under here to keep it steady. And now I'm going to dilute my paint or my ink because I just want to get a very light watery mix. And I'll use that for my leaves. Just adding a little tonal accent. And for this, I'm just using the shape of my brush. This is the medium water painter. So it's got a rounded tip. And I'm just using the shape of the brush to kind of imitate the shape of the leaves as I go around. And I'm going to work my way, keeping that very light, making sure there's plenty of water, and I'm just going to work my way all around. Now, to do this, the supplies that you need are paper, ink, the water brushes, and stamps. You could also do this freehand. Okay, so if you don't have a stamp set, you could do it freehand, and you could also substitute any stamp set that you may already have that has a nice open design like this that you can color in with the inks. So it's very, very versatile, very basic, and a great way to get started. Okay, so there's my border design with the beautiful leaves going around. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of tone to my interior design here, and I'll zoom you in so that you can see a little bit better. And I want to make sure that I don't smudge any of the ink that's on there. So I'm just going to rest my hand on the paper towel like so. And then I can get into all these little places. So I'm just going to do the leaves first. Now if you're feeling ambitious and you want to do this in color, you could use any of your re-inkers to do the same technique. I'm using the gray today because I want to talk about values in the lesson. And what I mean by values is your lights and darks. And using a neutral tone like the gray, I think, makes it much easier to practice. When you join the Watercolor Card Club, you get a card kit in the mail that includes practice paper and a homework assignment so that you can begin practicing your skills and follow along with each of the lessons. And each month there's a different lesson. So there it is. And if you miss a little inking like I did here, just grab your stamp case and look at the picture that's on the cover, and you can just add, like I can see that there's a little leaf behind this flower that I'm missing. Maybe one or two over here. And that's all there is to it. Now I want to go back and add a little more color, like so. Same on the other side. The ink dries very quickly, so you don't have to wait long before you can add your next color or your next wash. Okay, so there are my leaves done. Now I just want to add a little bit of tone to the flowers. Now I want to keep the flowers really pale, so I'm going to be adding a lot more water to my mix here. In the lesson, I talk a lot more about how to model the form of the flowers and where to put your shading so that you have a really nice result. There's also a live Zoom class so that you can ask questions and you can share your paintings in our Facebook group so that we can talk about them, and you can see what all the other people are doing, and we all learn from each other. It's a great group, very friendly, very supportive, and there's a nice range of levels in the group. So there are people that are further along and there are people that are just starting out, and I think that's important because we all learn from one another, and so there's no reason to feel intimidated if you're just beginning. It's always nice to see what the direction is that you're going in, and to see what's possible. So I think it's good for everybody to be in one group rather than breaking it up into smaller groups. You have the flexibility to work whenever is convenient to you. Okay, so you do it when your schedule allows, and you can do as much or as little as you choose. All right, so this is coming along. We're just about done. Just adding a couple more touches here and there to give it a little more dimension. And once the painting is done, I'm going to show you how you can make a really cute project with your designs. Okay, and I missed this little flower here. And I think what I want to do is I want to go around the edges one more time, add just a little more just like that. And if you'd like to see more projects like this, please visit my YouTube channel at Dandelion Cottage Design, and you can see hundreds of videos there that have all kinds of stamping, paper crafting, journal making, box making, card making. Just everything is available there. And when you go there, please like and subscribe, and please follow me here on Facebook. I'm getting very close to having 1,000 followers. I'm just a couple of people away, so if you haven't clicked on the follow or the like button, please do that. Okay, one more side here. And there we go. Okay, so there's the design. I'm going to put my ink away, zoom you back out again, and let me check and see if there's any questions so far. I don't see any. Okay, so let's get busy putting our project together. Now, using my snips, I'm just going to go around all four sides. And I'm snipping along the score marks that I made. And because it's a square, I'm just going to keep turning it a quarter turn each time so that's even. Okay, now once I've done that, I'm going to angle cut so you can see the score line here. All right, I'm going to taper it just a little tiny bit, like so, and remove that piece on all four sides. Do the same thing. Okay, so I end up with a shape that looks like this. Do a better cut here. There we go. And then I'm going to remove this section from the tabs. We don't need them to be so long. Okay, so now that I have this, I want to do a little more angle cutting. So I'm going to taper each of these tabs on both sides and trim that a smidge. And then finally, I want to get the other side tapered of the four flaps. Okay, and we end up with a shape like this. Using my bone folder, I'm just gonna, actually I don't know if I'm gonna need my bone folder, but you can just sort of finger fold these sides to get started. so I think you'll be able to see that better now. So there is the box top. Give that a good press. And then these outer flaps, I'm going to burnish down with my bone folder so that they're nice and crisp. I've got my multi-purpose liquid glue here, and I'm just going to take a little bit of glue and I'm going to add it to all 4 of these flaps. Okay, and one by one, I'm just going to bend that into place, and I'm going to hold that for just a moment to let that glue set up. If you get a little bit of glue coming off the side, just grab your tissue or your paper towel, give it a little wipe. Now this cardstock is the shimmery white cardstock, so it's got a nice body to it, and it also accepts a light wash. And if you look closely at the paper, you can see that it has a very pretty sort of a shimmery finish, as if it has like microscopic glitter mixed in with the paper pulp, so it's especially pretty. And it works great for these light washes as we just did today. Making my way around. Now this box top is going to be what is called a reinforced box top. I like my boxes to be nice and sturdy. I like them to hold up over time. So what I do is I double up the side edges. And I'll show you that in just a second. I just want to make sure that all my corners are nice and square and meet up nicely. Get this last one. Hold that in place. Okay, now once you've got those, that one's still wet. Once you've got these corner flaps placed so that your edges meet up nicely, okay, so I want to get that nice crisp corner there. I can take my bone folder and I can go around and just give each of these corners a good press, and that's going to help to kind of lock them in place, distribute the glue, and make sure that we've got a really good adhesion in those corners. All right, so this is what it looks like now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add glue to my flaps. You can turn that in. Okay, just like so. And now that flap is going to cover that little corner flap and help to make these sides much neater and much stronger. That's Houdini letting me know that he wants to go outside, but it's another cold and snowy day here, so I'm afraid he's not going to be going out today, but soon. All right. So there's my box lid, all painted and decorated, nice and neat. Now for a base, I've already pre-cut a basic gray square, and for this I used the 12 by 12 cardstock, and you can find the basic gray in the neutrals pack. All of the supplies that I'm using today are available in my online store, and you can just click on the supply list in the description below, and also I've posted it in advance on my Facebook page if you want to take a quick look at that. So for the base, I'm doing exactly what I did for the top. I'm just adding some glue to the corner flaps, and I'm going to make sure that those corners line up and are nice and crisp. Make my way around the box with my glue. Now if you're not a fan of the wet glue, you can use your tear and tape instead, or your glue runner, whatever it is that you prefer. I really like the liquid glue because it gives me a chance to manipulate the corners and make sure I have them exactly where I want them. Okay, so if you use one of the other methods of gluing, you only have one chance to get it right. So while it may take a minute to learn how to use the liquid glue at first, you'll get the hang of it in no time, and you'll be able to have much greater flexibility for your projects, and you'll also have very strong adhesion. So I really recommend the liquid glue. Okay, so one more flap. Let me kind of get this started. Get my hand in there. And this is a nice size box. So the box itself measures 4 by 4, and the sides are 2 inches. So you could fit quite a nice object inside this box. If you were using it for a candy box for a presentation, it would definitely fit something larger, like the Ferrero Rocher chocolates would fit perfectly well inside here. Alright, so I've got my side flaps. I'm going to begin like so. Fold that in. Give that a nice burnish. The bone folder is really an essential tool when it comes to making boxes. You want to make sure that you are creating really nice folds to ensure that your lid fits the base nicely. And last one. And there's our beautiful, hand-painted, beautifully decorated little gift box. Whoa. Okay, hold on. My Zoom has a mind of its own. There we go. Okay, so there's how it looks. And it only took about, if I wasn't talking, it would probably only take about half an hour to make something like this. And of course, this is using one color, the basic gray, with which you can practice these little brush strokes, as I showed you here. And there it is. So I hope you enjoyed that quick project today. I hope you'll join us in the Watercolor Card Club and how to get started painting with ink. I'll also be showing you how you can paint some of these other stamp sets. Let me see if I can pull one out here. You have the Scenic Garden, which would be a wonderful set to paint with ink. You also have the In the Country, another beautiful scenic stamp set, which would be beautiful in an ink painting. And both of these are available for free during celebration when you place an order of either $50 or $100 or more. So you can find out more about that on my online store. You can also go to my website at dandelioncottagedesign.com, and there's much more information there. I'll be back on Saturday for Paper Crafting Saturday. Until then, stay well, stay happy, stay creative, and I'll see you next time.